Hi everyone, welcome to this video. At first I wanted to make one complete video about the complete restoration of the front suspension, but when I was editing it, all the footage came out to almost 2 hours, so I've cut it up in some smaller sections for your viewing pleasure. And this is the first of those videos in this series. In this video we'll talk about the restoration of the front wishbones and the front uprights. On the beginning of the video I'm going to give you a small run through to all the front suspension components, and then we'll start off with this section. So laid out here you can see the complete front suspension, the front anti-roll bar. This just needs some cleaning and some new paint with new bushes. The front disc brakes, I'm just going to throw these away because I have brand new ones. The front hubs, these need cleaning, painting, new wheel bearings and new wheel studs. Back plates need some painting. The trunnions need complete rebuilding, new bushes and some cleaning, new oil, new front stub axles. The wishbones, some need a little bit of straightening, but it's mostly just cleaning, disassembly, painting. Front shocks, now I'll just throw these away. Maybe I'll disassemble them to get some extra springs, but I'm not going to use these anymore. I'm going to get some brand new ones, but that won't be in this video. New ball joints, and again just some cleaning of the wishbones. So all in all, it's just disassembly, cleaning, painting, assembly with new parts, and then we should be finished. So we'll just get to it. In this bucket are all of the wishbones, the back plates for the disc brakes and the uprights for the anti-roll bar. And I've cleaned away quite a bit of rust, just the big flakes and some of the paint that was left on here with a wire wheel on my angle grinder. But you can see there's quite a bit of rust still in the pitting and on the inside. Now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to completely fill this bucket with vinegar and let it soak for at least 24 hours. And then, because of the high acidity of the vinegar, all the rust will dissolve. Once you take them out, just rinse them with water, brush them off with a wire brush, and most of the rust should be gone. So I'll let them soak and I'll show you what it looks like when I take them out. I've cleaned off all the rust, and there's a bit of good news. Apparently 1960s paint can't stand vinegar. So all the paint has come off as well. Not everything's off. As you can see, the inside is very difficult to clean. But I'm going to use my Dremel and a little wire brush and clean the inside. But the outside's quite nice. Some need a little bit of touching up, but all in all they look quite good. Now there's one thing that I forgot to mention, and I have an example right here. So this is one of the uprights for the anti-roll bar that I got out of the vinegar and cleaned off. This one I dried off. This one I've let dry with the water on it. As you can see, it has started rusting immediately, and this is because when the vinegar has attacked the surface and it's still wet, rust can form very quickly. Now this is a very thin layer. I think I can just remove it with my wire brush. I'll let you see in a minute. But as you can see, this is quite rusty. This is not. So this is the rusty upright. As you can see, you can remove it quite easily. Another option is just put this back in the vinegar for a couple of hours and then just dry it off afterwards. So now we're going to install some wishbone bushes. This is one of the lower wishbones. And we'll start off by taking some special polyurethane grease, coating the inside contact surface with the grease. This will help with the installation. I've also soaked these polyurethane bushes in some hot water. This will make them a little bit softer, it's easier to install. So now I place the bush on the wishbone. So now it's in. Take a big socket. And it popped in. So as you can see, a perfectly installed bush. We only need to install the sleeve, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute. So now we have to fit the stainless sleeve in there. This is the stainless sleeve. These are auto bushes, and these have a crosshatch pattern and in the middle. And this is to retain the grease. So this is the grease that you need to put in. That's that. Stainless sleeves in place, and that's all there's to it. So this is everything that is needed to get a top wishbone. The original ones, a new top ball joint, new nuts, new bolts. So we'll quickly assemble this. Bolts go through the back wishbone first, through the ball joints. I'll just do the bolts up finger tight at the moment, and I'll torque everything to spec afterwards. So this is a right side front wishbone, new ball joint, ready to put on the car. Also done the other one. This is it. 2 wishbones. Now we're getting somewhere. So the next thing to disassemble are the front uprights. I've already made sure that the stub axle is loose. Now we can remove the trunnions so that we can rebuild these. We're going to discard the stub axles, removing all the bolts, so we can clean these and put them in the bucket with the vinegar as well. So to remove the trunnion, you just screw it off. Don't forget the seal. And clean this a little bit. Remove the stub axle. You can see how worn these are. So now I'm just going to clean it a little bit and then put it in the bucket with the vinegar, so we can let it soak for a little while, and then we can clean the rest off and paint these to reassemble everything. These are the trunnions for the front suspension. These are screwed onto the upright, the dust seal, and the bush. There are 2 nylon bushes. The dust seals that are on here have already rusted off. Same on this side. I've checked these, and there's no play in them, so the brass part is still very good. However, all the bushes and the dust seal need to be replaced. We'll start off by cleaning these off with a brass wire brush. So as you can see, they clean up quite nicely. They still need a bit of cleaning, but I'll brush them off until they're done, and then I'll show you what they look like. I've cleaned this one off. You can see what an improvement in this. There are a couple of things that I need to do to this one before I can start reassembling it. The first one is there's a steel bottom on these trunnions, so I've cleaned off the rust on the steel bottom. Now I'm going to treat it, and then I'm going to paint the steel bottom as well. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to treat it with a little bit of autosol polish, because it will give it a nice shine, and it will also protect it from the elements. And then I'll assemble it with new bushes and new dust seal, but I'll show you when we get there. So these are the uprights that are restored. These are 2 new stub axles, 2 new nuts, 2 new bolts, and restored trunnions. Now we're going to reassemble this. So this is a press fit. So we put this in from the back, put a new washer on. You've seen that I've restored the trunnions. This is one of the dust boots. Put the dust boot on here. The left hand side upright has a left hand side tread, and vice versa. So do it finger tight, then untighten at least one time, so that you have complete range of motion. So this is one. I need to tighten this a bit further, but this is a front upright assembly. So now we'll just do the other side. So now the uprights restored with the new stub axle, the new trunnion. We're going to mount the dust boot, the steering arm, and caliper bracket to the upright with new bolts. We'll start off by using the smaller bolts to make sure that everything is aligned correctly. So now we need to mount the steering arm to the back. I'm keeping one eye on my parts diagram while I do this. So this is it. I need to tighten a few of the bolts, but this is the front upright assembly. Dust shield, caliper bracket, steering arm. This is for the left hand side. Okay, so this is the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. In the next video we'll continue working on the front suspension, and in that video we'll talk about the restoration of the front hubs. In the meantime, if you have any questions, just post them in the comments below or send me an email through my website. You can also subscribe to this channel so you won't miss the next video, and I hope I'll see you next time. Goodbye.